Hi, my name is Chris, and I hope you are all having a fantastic day so far. As terrible as the world around us is forever evolving, but hopefully this video will give you a distraction and just make you kind of feel a little bit better in your day and a little bit more inspired. So that leads me into my point. This video is going to dive into how I edit my videos, and will give you a little insight into my travel documentary of how I created that first intro scene with the text panning across as I walked along the streets, because I know a lot of people are kind of impressed by that. It may be enjoyable for you to watch in terms of how I edited the actual footage. So let's dive right in. So the way I've been trying to structure my videos recently is by writing it down in a notebook that kind of gets my ideas off my head and gets the video kind of organized and started. Now this is something I haven't really done in the past, but I figured I should be kind of transitioning into that because I feel like it's a really good way to keep my videos organized, and it just helps to remind me what video ideas I have in mind. So the next step is to obviously shoot the video yourself, from which I don't really need to go into too much because you guys all have your unique ways of shooting videos if you do. Then I take the SD card out and I put it into one of these things. This is a RAV Power File Hub, which is kind of like a mini computer. You can see back there that I have a Chromebook, but it is a school Chromebook and it is not capable really at all for what I need to do in these videos. So I edit on my phone and I transfer the videos from the SD card, which will slide right in here. Then it can transfer over Wi-Fi straight to my phone. And from there, I take it into my video editing software, which is LumaFusion, and I start the video. So LumaFusion costs around $20 if it hasn't changed since the time I bought it myself, which is around a year and a half ago. But it's actually very well worth it for the amount of money. If you compare it to things such as Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere, there is a lot you can do within the system of iOS, and that's another thing I want to bring up. This is for iOS, Apple devices. So diving right into it, it says to create a new project, which is what we're going to do. And obviously you have the title, and then you have the frame rate, which is a very nice thing to have for a mobile device. So let's just pick 30, and then landscapes, there are a ton. You have movie quality, widescreen. I think I used the US widescreen cinema for my documentary. For regular videos, I use the 16:19, which is typically the standard format for most YouTube videos. So then going into it, you can actually change the layout, which is honestly a very helpful tool. You can change it from side to side and all around, and it's just very handy if you're left or right-handed and you just kind of want a different workspace. It's a cool way to kind of mix it up. So then moving into it, you can pick from photos and files, and you can import titles and transitions. I'm not too experienced with it, but it's something I'm definitely going to try to get more into. And then you also have Google Drive and OneDrive and wireless network devices, which could be my WD 1 terabyte hard drive, which can transfer to my RAV file hub, and then the RAV file hub can go directly into here as a wireless network drive. It's a pretty complicated process. Going back into it, we have all photos. I'll drag 2 videos down in here. The tools are pretty basic. You can obviously cut, and then you can also trim. You could duplicate clips, or you could also convert them into MP3 files. There's also a feature to link and unlink clips. If you wanted to, you could also copy the LUTs and kind of the audio sets and then paste it right into the next one. You can double click on a clip, or you can also click with this pen button. It's gonna bring you the same thing. So going into it, you have frame and fit, which can change the size and position. But then moving on, you have speed and speed and reverse, which you can reverse the clip, but then you can also speed it up to 6 times, and then maintain the audio pitch. The audio system is pretty well. There's a bypass filter, delay. There's a lot to kind of experiment with. Then moving on, we also have probably the most complex part of the editing system, which is the color and effects, which you can pretty much change. You can change a lot. You can download LUTs, but you have these LUTs, and then you can also pick one, pick original, or say you can change the brightness, contrast, so forth, and that is very helpful. In terms of exporting, you have a lot you can do. You can go for a movie audio only, a LumaFusion project package, which will go straight into your files with an iOS device. Then you also have a Final Cut Pro project package, which is pretty cool because if you have a MacBook or a laptop, I'm pretty sure it's just for Mac, you can upload the project you already have in LumaFusion straight to Final Cut Pro. I've never done this because I don't have a MacBook, but it's a cool way to transfer files, and if you need it, it is there. The main one I use is Movie. You can go to Photos, Wireless Network Drives, etc. Then this goes into something very cool. You can change the resolution up to 4K, which I believe is the highest one, at least for the iPhone 8. And then you can also change the video quality, 60 megapixels, and the audio quality, 48 gigahertz. I think you can also do 360, which is pretty cool. And that is pretty much it for LumaFusion. I feel like I've definitely missed a couple things. I don't know, this app is pretty good for a iOS device, and I'm honestly pretty happy that I purchased it. It allows me to experiment a lot more, and when I eventually move on to a MacBook or laptop, I'll have a lot more experience under my belt to kind of make that transition fairly easy. Like I said, I'm going to actually move on to the way I created that text thing in the documentary. So getting into the clip for my documentary, I first trimmed the clip just so I could have it just how I like it. I started the frame as welcome to, which I will add by doing a text overlay. Welcome to ... You want to start with the part where I start walking in and am about to touch the text itself, and then you want to go to cropping, which is in frame and fit, and then start cropping the text as I move along. So I added a keyframe at the start where I started to touch the text, and then you would start cropping the text as I moved along, so that I went frame by frame and kind of just moved it a little more as I went along. And this is just a very rough version of it because I had to take a lot of time to actually create the first one. And then you would keep going until you crop the whole text out. And then this goes into the next point where the text of 3 to travel documentary comes out from the right side of me, which is the same process as getting rid of it. You just have to add it frame by frame, and that is pretty much it for the process. You just need to be very consistent and precise in knowing when to crop it and not to crop it. So then if you go and watch it back, it should look pretty good. Here I come walking, and then I touch that, starts to go away. Obviously it doesn't look perfect because I did it in a matter of about 2 minutes, but you just need to kind of go back and look at the clip itself to see if it looks good, and that is honestly the process behind it. And if you want to make something similar, go right ahead. Send it out to me if you did so. So I am pretty much done with this video. I got over everything I wanted to get over. I highly suggest LumaFusion because it is great editing software. I'm going to end this video off by welcoming you to leave your questions in the comments. If you have any questions about LumaFusion or anything else, just leave them down there. And I'm going to end this video off by answering a question which was asked in the comments of my previous video. Couldn't find this comment directly. Maybe it was deleted, but I remember what the question was. It was, what was your life's greatest moment? And I have to say, I don't have a favorite life moments. There are so many life moments, and there will be so many to come. But I think one standout moment was when I was in Peoria for a cross-country race, and I had been training the whole season, and I had never ran on that course before, and I had a under 19-minute 3-mile time, which was very crazy to me because I had never gotten that time. It was about a year and a half ago, my sophomore year, and the cross-country team went on a trip down to Peoria, and it was a pretty awesome experience. And just having that feeling of accomplishment, a time you've never hit before, is something that will kind of stick with you, and it's a pretty standout moment, I have to say myself as a runner. So I hope that answers your question to whoever asked it. I'm sorry, I still couldn't find it, and I'm going to end this video off. So I hope you enjoyed it again, and have a great rest of your day. Peace.